and surrendering self. So this morning, I've come across a few different things on Facebook. I'm also starting to really open up about myself, and I'm also really starting to learn more about people. I actually recently started to discover within myself that sometimes I'm not the person that I think I am. Sometimes I talk about, well, I was until I started doing this work on myself. I was talking about being this person and thinking I was this person, but then my words wasn't matching my actions. I was just, one moment, please. Sorry about that. My dog was making loads of noise downstairs. So at times, I've noticed that I was actually really judgmental, and it took for me to actually meet this guy who really thought that he thinks that he is this sort of thug and bad person just because he's been through life and he's got himself in the wrong circles. But he's absolutely amazing. The core of him is absolutely amazing. We've all been through troubles. I just seen a status of an individual, and I'm not bullying. I wrote on this status in front of everybody, even though it had loads of likes. I'm not scared to speak up in situations where there's many people who could potentially start attacking. I'm not scared about that. So anyway, the status was about how a decent woman would not take on a man who's mistreated a woman. So this is where the real change comes in here. So hurt people. And in order to change or facilitate change within people, people need to be accepted. People need to be loved. People need to be met with compassion and empathy. Unless you want people to carry on hurting each other. So I discovered in life coaching this thing called UPR, Unconditional Positive Regard, by Carl Rogers, the psychologist. And at first, I was like, oh, I really don't get that. And then I was like, wow, that really is painful. So I've been through child abuse, I've been through rape, I've been through domestic violence, I've been through many things. But the thing is, I could coach these people. I could coach a person who has abused a child, and I could bring out in them, help bring out in them or facilitate change in them, bring out the suffering in them to help humanity heal, to stop someone going forward and hurting more people, and to actually give love to that person's soul. Because the thing is, people's behaviours don't come from nowhere. They really don't. There's always a root cause in there. It can be lifestyle, it can be upbringing, it can be other people inflicting pain upon them. And what you'll find is many women will bring guys through the dirt. They'll call them every name under the sun, and then they'll go forward and this person's a bad person. But what they don't realise is that guy wasn't born like that. He became like that because something happened to him. What happened to us is what creates the person who's walking that path at the time. So also the word narcissist. I don't believe the word narcissist. I think it's an absolute load of bullying rubbish. Who's known as a narcissist is a person who has got wounds and goes on with their problematic behaviours to inflict pain upon another person. But that pain and then what they're inflicting on somebody else has come from somewhere. I probably used to be a narcissist. Actually, I probably did, yeah. I had a conversation with a woman a few days ago, and what I did was, she was meeting me with victim mindset. So victim mindset is not healthy for nobody, but it's a part of their learning. But because she'd been in it a long time and she was spilling all this information in my inbox, I just spoke it, and I was like, you're never going to get anywhere living in that mindset. She did not like it. She started attacking. And I just said to her, I'm not even reading your words on purpose, because it was bringing out a rage in her. And when you bring that rage out in them and they can't inflict it anymore, evolution will come in, change will come in, a shift will come in. And I was like, go and research victim mindset, drama triangle, and all those things. Let that trigger what's happening within you, purge. And my God, she was trying to say some nasty things towards me. But I'll explain to people, your words, what come out when you're triggered, do not even enter my energy field, because I know what I'm doing with that sort of thing. I'm not being nasty. I might come across nasty, but I'm actually not being nasty. I'm actually working with love. So yeah. Anyway, sometimes people don't understand it, and they might say that it hurt to act that way within them. But sometimes when someone's throwing their pain onto you, you've got to work with your boundaries and you've got to speak up. it's just got to happen. So yeah, anyway, I met this guy, and I said a really, really nasty thing to him after I first met him, after I'd seen his judgment on women and how he treated them and stuff like that. And then I seen the bigger picture and I was like, this person has been really, really hurt in the past. And then I discovered that, oh my God, I've fallen in love with this person and I've only met him a few times, and what is going on with me? And I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. As soon as I've seen a picture of him, and I actually laugh because I call him Mr. Mr. Chavlike on his birthday card. I had him a special birthday card made, and I put on it Mr. Chavlike, and he actually really laughed and he liked it. But I think he's actually really scared right now because this woman's come out of nowhere. This woman who's massively different and talks deep about all his pain and stuff, told him loads of my past and that, and he thinks he's this bad person. But we've all been through bad. I'm not being funny. Let me tell you some truths about me. When I was younger, I used to fight for money. I used to stamp through people's car bonnets with stiletto wheels. I used to be a raging alcoholic. I used to steal. I used to have sex addiction. I used to sell cocaine. I used to be absolutely terrible. Smashed cars. I did all sorts of things. Now, that sort of stuff doesn't exist in my life. Like, even down to when people start raging at me and causing arguments and wanting me to fight with them. I don't even, like, that behaviour doesn't come from me anymore. And you know, years ago, if you would have known me, as soon as someone started trying to attack me, they wouldn't have even had a chance to end the sentence because I would have gripped them by the throat and uppercutted them. That's how bad I was. But it facilitates change within us. Sometimes we go for the most difficult of paths in order to change the person who we are. He's not a bad person, he was just a hurt person, and I actually really love him. And I know it sounds strange saying that, but I can't help how I feel. And who cares who judges me on saying that? Eh? Because I don't care. And, like, even though he's, like, going through his own stuff right now, I'll do whatever it takes to let him know how much I care. And it can either go one or two ways. He can either accept it and buy the feeling what I get when we're together, it's amazing, or he can run from it. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm not going to give up even if it takes years. So yeah, but doesn't it really, really make us think about when we're, look at them people, this is one thing what really gets me as well, when people call people scrubbers and tramps and hoes and things like that, and it's like, really, who are you like? Oh, you do that for a living. Oh, you hurt people day after day after day after day, but that's okay. Yep, that's okay because you're walking around in your nice, crisp new outfit and your brand new car. Come on now. A lot of us are hypocrites without even realising, and I used to be the biggest hypocrite of them all. I used to preach all this stuff, but then I used to do certain stuff myself. And I tell you something as well, the things that we do behind the scenes are the most important things about us. So you can write whatever you want on Facebook, and I do this, I do that. But if behind the scenes you go in and you're doing this, that, and that, and that, is that your truth? Are you really going to like bring in good to your life? Because you know there's a law of the universe. What you put out, you bring in, and especially when you're operating from wounded self, there's loads of parts of self, you know, within our thinking. So we can react to somebody in 12-year-old self, the person who's got a wound, when someone does something to us. So let's have a little talk. When someone tries to hurt me about my teeth, when someone likes to call me names about my teeth, I used to get people saying really nasty things to me. I'll react within the wounded self from 12-year-old memory. A boy telling me I should get a t-shirt what says Gap Tooth on the front, and people singing songs to me, Mr. Surfboard Teeth, and I was like, so that triggers out on me straight away. So then I start acting childish and aggressive, and then I'm like, do I really need to feed that anymore? Do I need to really feed that part of myself anymore, or do I need to release it and heal? So yeah, we need to stop these expectations of each other and actually allow ourselves to feel as humans. Because humans these days, like, people bring each other down, call each other snowflakes and all sorts when people are in touch with their emotions. Really? It's natural to have human emotion. If you feel something upsets you, there's a reason why it upsets you. So work on why it upsets you. Also, if you want to speak about something that upsets you, don't be bothered by people who don't like it. Because they only don't like it because it's triggering something in them. Like, and people try to shut you down when you're doing it because they're pissed at something. Keep speaking it. And just know also that when people do try to hurt you, they are hurting themselves in some way, but they'll pretend that their lives are perfect, because that's what we do. We all wear these masks. Like, I used to wear these masks, and I used to make myself look in perfectly lovely ways, loads of makeup. And I'll tell you another story. When I went into my life coaching, my very first time that I went there, my life coaching diploma, the first day workshop, I walked in a completely different person to what I walked out. Months and months later, I walked out and I was like, whoa, look at me now. I deliver my most valuable speeches while I'm sat in my pajamas in my bedroom with my hair all over and no makeup. And I'm being my 100% raw, authentic self, pulling all my wounds out, pulling all my crap out, airing all my laundry, and I don't care. I just don't care. I'm perfectly okay with that. And here's another big thing about life. What we seem to do is we seem to care about hurting others more than we care about ourselves. So we keep our internal suffering going on because somebody's going to get upset by what we've got to speak about. Interesting that, isn't it? We don't need to say people's names. We don't need to say who they are. But by speaking your truths, it releases the suffering within you. Same as I spoke about on a status the other day.